let's go with this one.
Oh, my word.
What a day. So, we're going to be moving into our second game, our second semi-final. Ninjas in Pajamas versus VeryGames. Sorry for the delay on that one, guys. But as we said, we're being royally trolled by Steam Workshop and all the other bits and pieces into that one. So, we are live in this one. Apparently, it's 0-0. Now it's 1-0. So, we missed the pistol.
We pissed the mistle?
We pissed the mistle. So that's that. So VeryGames leading 1-0. Sadly, we didn't get to see really too much of that one in the end. So good little start for VeryGames from this one. And let's get into things and see how this one's all going to work out then. Ninjas in Pajamas facing a bit of an uphill struggle, as we are going to see VeryGames here rushing off in towards that B-bomb site. Already good amounts of damage being done. Freiburg and Get Right actually picking up a killer piece here. So already into a 4 versus 3. Let's Get Right just going to spam that wall and see if he can pick up something lucky through it. But that won't be the case here. And the bomb is planted for VeryGames. Can they get any more, though? And not going to be an easy retake here for NIP, but they're a lot healthier, and they've got decent weaponry to get into this one. A couple of Deagles and a P250 here as Forrest is going to take the head off Smiths there at the back, and they're going to start moving in already. Scream going to get himself one. Get Right gets one back here as well, but Shox is in a horrible position, and Get Right has already started off the defuse, and, well, he's going to get taken out in there. Anyway, he's got no time for the defuse, though. Sad times for Get Right, and that will be 2-0.
Yeah, so I'm going to make the apology on the live stream anyway to the players, because they were very patiently waiting for us to fix the issues. And I know that it's a pain in the bum when you're a player.
Yep.
And you have to wait like that, and when it's nothing to do with you as well, it makes it even worse. So thank you to both VeryGames and to Ninjas in Pajamas for having patience there while we got things sorted out. And I know they watch the VODs afterwards, so if you think I'm saying thank you to them and they can't hear me, think again. VeryGames 2 up then, after winning the opening pistol round. And Ninjas in Pajamas on the CT side of Inferno. The most balanced map statistically in the game right now. It actually is 50.97 bias to CT. I don't think you can get it much closer to be perfectly balanced. And that is a couple of thousand rounds played as well. So it's not just a couple of matches we measured that one over. As we start things off with a killer piece either side, Exist and Existence, nicely, are both down in that opening round. A shotgun exchanged for a FAMAS by Fifth Laren, and, well, it's kind of pointless anyway, because VeryGames came in to pick up the kill on Fifth Laren. And that one was with Nathan. They've got Smith's Existence, Scream, and Shoxy this evening. Get Right, Exist, Freiburg, Forest, and Fifth Laren. No change from them for their lineup for the last 9 months. And a couple of players blind in the back of Ruins here. They're going to try and move in towards the bomb site. Freiburg's lining this one up nicely. Couldn't get the second one after picking up the kill on Smiths, though. And they're now at a 3 versus 1. And last man standing here will be Forrest this time round, and he will look to save his weapon.
Yep, got himself that AK, so he's going to try and take that through into round number 3, save him having to buy an M4 in that next round. Always a nice little pickup. They got a couple of kills in there, but nothing really too great to write home about. Bomb, of course, is going to be ticking away here, and this is going to be 3-0 in favor of VeryGames. So a nice little start that they've had to this one. See Forrest there inside of the apartments. Actually, no one from VeryGames will probably even get over towards his position to put that AK in jeopardy, so that will be all good. And it will be 3-0. Nice little start for VeryGames. Let's see now, though, if Ninjas in Pajamas, as they finally will be buying up. Actually, no, they bought that last round. What am I even talking about? Good job, Joe. They obviously bought that last round, which means I've just been talking rubbish for that last 10 seconds, 20 seconds. But that's all good. Those delays can throw us off our game, as well as the players sometimes as well. So, as Paul said, thank you very much to NIP and VeryGames for hanging around for us so that you guys at home didn't miss any of the action. Well, you did. You missed 2 rounds, but you missed one and a little bit. One and a little bit. We'll say that. It's not all that bad, and things are working now, so that's fine. But Smiths actually did take a big hit right from the very get-go of this one, down to just 19 HP. Currently NIP with 2 men inside of the B site, one of which is Forest with that AK-47. So that's maybe their best chance of holding a site if VeryGames do decide to push that one, and they are going to go that way. Are they going to pick off? Forest is going to go straight down from this one. There was Freiburg hiding in the corner, and VeryGames not lost a man up until now. Are going to get that bomb planted. And this is looking like it will be round number 4 for the Frenchmen. And they are sitting very defensive here. There's MBK going to peek over. Easy kill on towards Exist. And that should be pretty much all she wrote for the CTs. Let's get right and a Fiffler in here. Not going to be able to pick up any weapons, any extra weapons, I should imagine. Especially not now that MBK is down that middle area. And we'll just be waiting for Fiffler to make his peek. There is Fiffler. Actually got a couple of shots off, but can he finish things off? There is Get Right, who is going to try and get himself over towards those weapons. There's actually 2 of them there, and he's managed to get out with, or has he? Didn't actually pick it up. And as he went around for that AK, and he did die in the end. So he doesn't get one, sadly enough, for Get Right, but that will be 4-0 then for VeryGames.
Yeah, Get Right 4 and 3 so far. Forest 3 and 2. No score for Fifth Lown. On the other side, Screen 5-2. Nathan 6-2. Smith 3 for 3. Shoxy's 1 for 1, and Existence 1 for 2. And so far, every kill I've seen Scream take, he's got a headshot on it. He was missing a few yesterday. It seems to have brought the headshots out again today. As Joe said, 4-0 to VeryGames. Good start from them. On a bye round now for the Ninjas. Can they nip this little bit of momentum in the bud? For VeryGames. I've said many times before, it is a game of momentum. Saw that earlier for Na'Vi as well. LDLC 7-0 up in the early part of that game. That one ended up in a 15-all draw in the end, before LDLC took it in overtime. So, not game over just yet for VeryGames, who looked good against Virtus Pro yesterday. Admittedly, they were a mix. This is nice from Fifth Lauren, though. Triple from him in the corner. And they just lined up really nicely for him. And Shoxy now is the last alive. And he is heading towards the A-bomb site right now. Fifth Lown is going to pick him up as well. A 4-man from Fifth Lown. He's rubbish, isn't he?
Really great position there from Fifth Lown. Helped a little bit by the fact that VeryGames didn't quite spot his position early enough and, well, lined up for him after that as well. But that's the first round on the board here then for NIP, looking to gift Get Right a bit of a birthday surprise here and pick up this game. We'll see if that comes true for them. Obviously, NIP been doing really well in the cup so far as the grenades do get exchanged. Well, it's NIP that come off the better with that one. Existence and Shoxy both took a decent amount of damage. A quarter of both of their health's gone. As MBK has worked his way up into the apartments already. Rest of VeryGames not quite on the same page as him just yet. They're doing a pretty standard early round here, obviously, with those 3 men just having a look at Banana. Rest trying to push in there. MBK going to get the better of Exist there. Exist did get some damage off, but lost his life for the pleasure. So Auto Director just really wants to rub it in there that Exist died.
It's almost like he's teabagging him, isn't it? Auto Director teabag mode. Hanging
there just to watch the pain on his face as he died. As we are going to see the Forest coming in. He actually gets 2 of them lining up. Going to get number 3 as well. And in a similar fashion to what we saw from Fiffler in that last round, Forest is going to turn the tide here. And Ninjas in Pajamas have a 3-on-2 advantage. And that's one of the things that really, you know, is so great about this NIP team, that you do have such brilliant individual talent across the board. Any one of them can do that. That's what can really help them out here. Oh, Shoxy kind of messed that one up there. Probably should have been an easy shot for him in all rights. Freiburg should have probably been dead there. What now? Shoxy going to go charging forward there. Is Get Right in front of him. Shoxy gets the better of him. It's now a 1 versus 1. Forrest. Oh, yeah. Time's running out. Didn't even look at the time. As I'm assuming, Shoxy didn't quite manage there in the end either. And that will be 2 in a row for NIP.
Yes. Clock. Bit of a an opponent there as well for VG. And for Shoxy, as you can see right now, MBK 8 for 4 at the top of the scoreboard for his team. Scream 5 for 4. Hasn't got a kill in the last 2 rounds that they've lost, though. And they're just going to do a little bit of dancing back at home at the start of round 7. Have a little bit of a chat, figure out what they're doing wrong. Having lost the last 2. And MBK says, yeah, I've heard it all before, I'm off. Not interested. Let's go kill some heads. And right now we've got a 3-2 split across the map on the CT side, as you would expect. 3 around A, 2 on B, and both the B guys are starting to push, and they're going to line up perfectly for Get Right this time. Double headshot from him, but he's taken out by Smith. Now, they need to be careful here as Smith pushes up mid now. He's picked off Exist as well. And they're now at a 3 versus 3. They should be okay, though, Nip, here on an anti-eco, although MBK and Smith have now got guns, but both of them are very low on health. Just 6 for MBK and 38 for Smith, who's got himself both the kills in this round, Get Right and Exist. How are they going to play this one? They've split 2-1, and now Fifth Laren, look at this. Just waiting for them. They've got Forrest creeping round. Brilliantly played. Nicely done. Forrest, a little bit of baiting there for Fifth Laren, but not intentional. And Scream will be the last man alive now for an easy round victory, and that's 4-3 on the eco. Could have been a lot worse. Could have been a bit better.
3 rounds in a row for NIP. Good stuff. And I'll apologise if I'm a little bit slow tonight. My brain is still somewhere in China, I think.
Still over the Ural Mountains, isn't it?
I have not been sleeping too well the last couple of days.
But then you did take 23 hours to get home. What did you do, walk?
I probably could have better done that, to be honest. It wasn't quite as bad as my WCG 2011 trip
from Korea.
That was a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Although this one is weirdly messing me up more in terms of sleeping and brain power, which I seem to be very much lacking today. So, right now, we have Smiths and Existence, both already lost that little bit of health. Well, I'll say a little bit. Existence 2/3 of his health, and Smith's half gone already.
Wait, hold on. That's 3/4.
Yeah. 2/3, 3/4.
Welcome to Fractions with Joe Miller.
Same shit, different thing. Completely. It's all good. Everyone can see it on the screen anyway. If I told them Existence still on full HP, they'd be like, no, he's not. He's got 23. That's fine for me. Pointing it out, everyone can correct themselves. We do have 36 seconds to go, and we are going to see the push coming out from VeryGames as the flashes and smokes are going to come in. Existence going to hold strong there underneath the balcony, but Scream with 2. Whoa. Make that 3. Hat-trick for Scream. He's going to smoke out, and now we're going to see Get Right and Freiburg trying to rotate in for this one, but there are still 4 men alive for VeryGames. Looking good for round number 5 for the Frenchies. Let's see, though, if they can finish off. And Freiburg was actually headed back there a little bit. I'm not sure if he was thinking, do we save? Do we go? Do we save? But it looks like that they are going to make somewhat of an attempt on this bomb defuse. They both have full HP. And actually, no, you can see they're starting to creep back towards that middle area. They are just going to wait for a couple of exit kills and make this that more expensive for VeryGames. We're just going to stack up in the corner.
There were 3 headshots in a row from Scream as well. So I make that 8 kills, 8 headshots. And nothing else doing on that round. So 5-3 to VeryGames. And quick check in on the scoreboard. Forest 8 and 4. Get Right 6 and 5. Freiburg's 5-6. Fifth Laren's 5-5. Exist struggling a little bit. 2-7. Scream 8 and 5, MBK 8 and 6, Shoxy 4-3, Smiths 5 and 7, and Existence 2 for 5. Early grenade down bottom of banana does nothing. at the bottom of Banana, just starting to push forward a little bit. They have got 2 men here, one by Sandbags, and Get Right picks up the kill on Smith. That was purely a guess on his part that he would have been up on those Sandbags at the bottom of the Banana. MBK was just looking to get a little bit frisky there in quad, but Shoxy still firing off into the smoke at the bottom, and there's Exist picking up the kill on NBK. As I said, he was starting to get a bit frisky in Boiler. And Existence now disposes of one. Can't get rid of the other one. Fifth Laren setting up that perfect crossfire. And the screen being dropped down low here. Shoxy also, they're going to fall very quickly here. Forrest gets one and the second, both headshots. And Ninjas in Pyjamas come back to 5-4 down.
Yep, 5-4 down. Still one behind, but not the world. Certainly not a 7-0 like we saw in our first semi-final, which, funny enough, was turned around and we ended up seeing an overtime anyway.
Although they were 4-0 down.
That's true as well.
Yeah.
They were 4 behind for this one. And now VeryGames going to be rushing in. What do they have this round? Because, well, they're pretty much crippled. Winning that one round, losing the next one. We can see P250 is pretty much across the board, but unless something goes wrong for NIP, this should be a Swedish round. As far as if he peeks here, he's going to have a shot lined up. Actually, got clipped by Shoxy, but, well, headshots in for the pleasure. Oh, Fifth Run being flashed up here on that one corner. Are they going to be able to push him down? More flashes coming in. Fifth Run gets the better of one, but there is Scream. And Forrest still doing a great job here. Up at the end of Apartments, now down to a quarter of his HP. And NBK is going to come chasing in for him. Knows he's underneath him there somewhere. And Forrest even got the better of him and of Scream as well. Brilliant stuff from Forrest. 4 kills that round. Fifth Run got the 5th. And that is 5-5.
14 for 4. Forrest at the top of the scoreboard. First man into double figures. And has a +10 KD right now. Easily almost twice ahead of anyone else in the game. As we are now all square in this game. Thought it would be a close one, thought it'd be a tight affair, but wondered at the start when VeryGames set off like a steam train. Or maybe it was a rocket ship. Either way, it's been pegged back. It's had its boosters taken off and its water removed. So whatever it was, it makes no odds now. We're at 5-all after 10. That smoke was not actually that good, and through the smoke goes Smith, and again another guess shot through the smoke. Picks up Get Right, and MBK disposes of Exist now down in Boiler. Flash out into the Bondi. Grenade comes in, he exchanges the FAMAS 4 and M4 down there as well. But did take a little bit more damage, so he's down to 14. But in a 5v3 now, VeryGames is round to lose. They're going to try and push Banana here. And Freiberg, if he stays where he is, he's not going to stay where he is. He's going to drop back. And instead, Smith now with the AWP. Here comes Freiberg, gets the first one, won't get the second. Smith comes back in with the AWP. Fifth Flower now rotating, flash into the site. Forrest going to come back from the other side here at the same time. And they're going to have to play this one absolutely perfectly if they're going to win the round. For all 4 men, very damaged here. And Fifth Flower does go down to Smith. And now Forrest is the last man alive. Oh. They've all had lots of damage done. And he's fully stacked here. 4v1 clutch, anyone?
Needs a nade. A nade would be so great for him right now.
A nade would be amazing right now, but he doesn't have one. So he's going to have to try and do this alone, single-handedly. 4v1. I think he's thinking, actually, I might need to get out of here. But he's still hanging around. Now, is he going to be able to pick this one up? He is going to get the first one. Won't get the second, though. Scream picks that one up. And Smiths with a triple in the round, including that fantastic AWP shot through the smoke, gives VeryGames the lead 6-5.
Very, very close one. As we were expecting here between NIP and VeryGames, we've already had one semi-final go the whole way to the overtime. And well, it wouldn't surprise me if we were to see the same here between NIP and VeryGames.
Thank God for close games, eh?
Thank God for close games. Otherwise, what would it be? It'd be boring, that's what it'd be. Right now, MBK already pushed up here towards the apartment, so he's made up some early ground.
Ooh,
that was not where Shoxy wanted to get that flash. And no early kills, no early damage. Weapon rate for NIP not super strong right now. There's a couple of FAMASas mixed in there with the M4s. I'm not seeing what Get Right actually has for this whole time, because he's just been with a flash in the hand, and it is an M4. There we go. Almost on command there. Cheers, Get Right. And he is going to get the first kill of the round as he takes down Shoxy, who was just on that corner up at the top of Banana. But things slowed down once again. VeryGames with a man down. I'm going to maybe have to rethink the strategy. And that rethink is going to mean that they push up towards that A site and Scream. What a shot. Very patient waiting for Forrest to peek. And his patience paid off for him, as Exist now is inside of the big pit. More flashes coming down. In fact, there's more flashes than he would have expected in there. And he still manages to get one kill. Get Right did get one before he died as well. He's still in that pit and they need to deal with him. They've taken out Fifth Laren first. Exist is still in there. And now Freiburg's coming around the side. Can he take down Exist? The last man left alive who did get the bomb, but Freiburg will deal with him in that 1v1. And well, actually, technically it was a 2v1 there by the end. And that will be the defuse coming in. We're all tied up again at 6-6.
6, 6, and 6 skills from both these two teams. Sees us all tied up. It's like they're the devil's own spawn. Let's check in with the scoreboard right now. Forest 15 and 6, and Scream on the other side is 12 for 8, having a much better game than he did yesterday in the quarterfinal. Decidedly average from his point of view, and Shoxy again with a weird flash. Not quite sure that was exactly where he wanted it to go. That's not the first one we've seen either. Oh, that Deagle easily dealt with by Forrest, but Smiths and Scream again have come back very quickly to switch this one back around. Forrest now knows. Oh, fabulous grenade! Brilliantly timed, and they're going to line up for him here. He gets one, he gets two, not the third, and then Smiths with an unscoped shot onto Get Right at point-blank range with just 9 points of health has left us at a 2 versus 1. Again, it's Freiburg, and again, he has to clutch a 2v1. He must be sitting there thinking, come on, guys, stay alive a little longer. Now, smoke to the back, flash over the top. Smiths is going to... Oh! Fabulous AWP from Smiths. Freiburg hopped and skipped past the box, and Smiths knew exactly what he was going to try and shut him down immediately. VeryGames lead 7-6.
Smiths has been looking incredible with that AWP. We saw that smoke shot from him earlier on. And just everything going right for him at this stage. VeryGames have that lead back, but, well, if the form of the rounds is anything to go by, then we may just see it being tied up again after this one. NIP, though, what have they got to play with? Not a lot this time around. We've got an incendiary grenade by Forrest, who doesn't want to throw that too close to home. Otherwise, he could be burning the rest of his friends down.
Ooh, Freiburg,
or Freiburg could just kill them all. That could work out for them as well. And that incendiary grenade might not even have to be used, which he now, of course, will, because I've said that he might not even have to use it. Two men looking like they're crawling up Banana at this point.
Yeah, and do you know what? The incendiary is all about sound. I know it makes it a bit weird because it's full of fire, but if you hear, it's then about timing.
Flop.
Yeah, it's then about timing and unleashing it at the right time to trap them in it and reduce their health. They are actually going to push round the CT arch side. There it goes. They had heard them starting to push, but they weren't close enough, and that's not going to work.
They've taken out MBK there, though, which frees up a weapon here for Fifthler, and only Galil, but it's a weapon nonetheless. And it is a 3-on-2. Smith's still full health. He's now got that AK in there. Deciding that's going to be a better choice for him yet than that AWP up close and personal. Right now, Forrest's going to be camping. He's going to make the peek out. He's going to take down Scream. Can he find Smiths here as well? He's doing a good job of wasting the time and will finish him off. And that is a tied-up game, and that was an eco round from NIP. Those are the rounds that you just can't afford to lose if you're VeryGames.
Just a reminder for you, we're not even at the end of the first half, and Forrest has dropped 20 already. 20 for 7. Crazy fragger. 7-7 then, after an eco and a bit of brilliance from Freiberg at the start of that round with that double headshot, and then a little bit more brilliance from Forrest at the end of it with another double kill with the pistol. Who do you want in those clutch positions? You definitely want him. This time round, the lack of funds is with the French right now. They have just 2 AKs between them to try and rescue the last round. Otherwise, Ninjas in Pyjamas will have the lead. When you consider they were 4-0 down, an 8-7 half-time lead is pretty decent. And as I said earlier on, 50.93 is the current ratio for CT's winning this, winning rounds on Inferno. It is the most balanced of all maps. And guess what? We're going to have the most balanced of scores at half-time regardless. It's going to be 8-7. MBK rips through Forrest with the headshot at quad. Fifth Lauren replies back onto MBK. And Freiberg might be able to fit his boots here. There are 2 pushing towards the bomb site. They're slightly more advanced. Now they've backed away, though. And the smoke is going to help them. They're going to rotate all the way back round. This is going to, well, this is a big ask for them. Exist is covering that site. They've got 18 seconds remaining. Fifth Lauren's come back to help out now as well from quad. From CT Arch, and Freiberg round the corner does get the kill onto Smith. This round's going towards the Swedes of Ninjas in Pyjamas, and there's something amazing from Shoxy can happen, and the start of that had begun, and I thought for a second he might have won the round. Just the 2 in the end, and Ninjas in Pyjamas lead 8-7 at half.
Yeah, and Forrest here, you have to give him so much credit. He's come up massive again for Ninjas in Pyjamas. 20 kills in that first half. Closest to him was Scream with 14. Well, pretty much everyone hanging around that 11 to 10 mark, apart from Exist, 5 for 12, and Existence, 7 for 11. Not had the best halves between them there, but, well, you know, if the rest of your team are playing well, it doesn't always matter. And they've been in those positions where it is literally do or die when you get rushed onto you anyway. So let's have a look then. Second half, 8-7, as we said. And honestly, this one, before we started, it'd been hard to call the favourite. You'd probably just go for NIP just because, you know, it's NIP.
Yep.
VeryGames here, though, with Shoxy in that team, looking so very, very good. And don't forget, the winner of this one will go through into the best of 3 grand final, which will be coming up after this second semi-final, where they will be taking on LDLC, who beat Navi earlier on.
Yes, LDLC in their 3rd RaidCall EMS 1 final of the 7 cups that have been played, the 7 weekly cups, of course. Next week, we will have cup number 4, the final cup of the regular season. That will determine the top 16 teams in the ranking points, and those top 16 will then advance into group play. 4 groups of 4, with the top 2 all qualifying through to the quarterfinals, which will be held on LAN.
Not sure what they're waiting for here.
Well, they might be waiting for a long time, because I've noticed that that says RaidCall EMS 1 Summer 2013. And we're actually in the Spring Cup.
No, summer.
Are we?
Yeah.
I thought we were in the spring. I've been saying
Thought
spring
I was
all week.
jet-lagged.
No, I've been saying spring
Your
for like
season
3
lagged.
weeks. Yeah,
No,
maybe I am.
The first season was spring.
Was it?
And now it's summer, which would mean we're going to be in winter by about July.
Well, that would be no different from me living in England anyway, would it?
So here we go then, second Pistols. And, well, this is very aggressive from VeryGames. They're not messing around here. Sprinting straight down the middle. There is Exist, who is going to be picked off by Smiths for the start. And they've closed them into this terrorist spawn. That's it.
Yeah.
It's normally you see the French guys retreating, but this time they are going straight in there.
That's so weird. Not seen that for a while. But good strat, nevertheless. It's worked out. It's got them the early pick. Very aggressive from VeryGames. And now they've returned back to whence they came, with a standard 3-2 setup across A with 3 and B with 2. Literally gone back to both their sides, just in case they got flanked there. And then IP have managed to get people out up into the apartments. They hadn't, so they're absolutely fine. So what do NIP do now? They won't have expecting that kind of rush, I don't think. Flash seems to have been a little bit of a decoy here. Forrest creeping towards CT Arch. There is a man round this side. And single shot from Forrest, single shot from Smith. He's landed. So did Forrest. They exchanged a little bit of damage between them. In fact, almost identical damage.
Oh.
Not this time around, though. Smith lops off the head of Forrest. And then Existence picks up the kill on Freiburg. Get right replying back on Existence. Here we go then. All hell breaking loose inside the A bomb site. And finished off with a couple of very quick kills from Scream and Smith. And VeryGames win the pistols again.
Really nice strategy there coming out of VeryGames, pushing right down towards that T-spawn, and that means that NIP naturally then have to really run the clock a little bit because they have to make sure that they're not going to be sealed in there. Obviously, VeryGames did back away. By the time NIP get out, they have to kind of rush things in. It looks like VeryGames here are going to go again for a very quick strategy. Grenade from Existence is going to pick up the first kill, and the FAMAS here working down towards those T steps as Freiburg may step out into that B bomb site.
I just want to point out
his head.
something to you. Person on your screen right now, Get Right, with a deagle in his hand. Something we saw a lot of in 1.6, but we haven't seen it in CSGO due to the way that the deagle worked. It has recently been changed, just a little bit, and it's been changed nicely. Look at that, 93 damage done from one single bullet, and that's why Get Right has started using it again. I've noticed a couple of teams just starting to put it into their lineups on some of the ecos. Sorry, Jay, you were saying?
Well, I think it's still going to be a whitewash. As much as I'd like to say otherwise, that deagle might be there out there. I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. But Scream takes down Freiburg. Great stuff. 2 men left here for NIP. And he's
if in doubt, shout a lot.
If in doubt, shout a lot. And really loud. And it's now 5 men left for VeryGames. Can't see them losing this one. It's going to take a stroke of genius from NIP to pick this one up. There is Scream, and the final man will be taken by Scream as well. That was Forrest, and that is 9-8 to VeryGames.
Yeah, 2 more headshots into the history books for Scream. Likes to pick them up. He's like the Sebastian Vettel of Counter-Strike. Just likes clocking up record after record.
German?
What? Oh, yeah, no.
Not quite.
Yeah, so nothing like Vettel then. Good analogy, really. Well done.
That's it.
Failed. 9-8 to VeryGames. And never more than a round between them since they came back to 4-4 after Ninjas in Pyjamas were 4-0 down earlier on. That's the biggest lead we've seen in the night. Forrest easily dispatches MBK to the grave. Smith gets a double, though. And that flash is perfectly placed round the corner to enable Smith to pick up a triple in the round. And Existence helping himself to 2. 10-8.
Yeah, VeryGames just 6 away from giving us an all-French final.
Sacre bleu.
Ooh la la.
That would mean I'd have to do a knife round in French.
It would, because I have got no idea about French. Ooh la la was pretty much it. Something about David Ginola and Arsene Wenger.
The Seagulls. Flat behind the Trulle. You not remember that one?
No.
That was Eric Cantona.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, with his brilliant poetry that wasn't really poetry.
Yeah. Oh, there's a... I was just about to say, they were pushing down middle there. And that's already a 4-on-3 now. VeryGames maybe getting a little bit big for the boots. There's a very awkwardly dead CT guy kind of crunched up against the rail. Not so peaceful in death, apparently. The nades go around. NIP going to go into this front side of 8 with 4 men on 100% of their HP. But is it going to matter? Scream and NBK really racking them up. There's another one for Scream in the back. Freiburg coming around here, but he may end up losing out. He's going to have to back away to reload, and that's going to give Shoxy time to actually get in for this one. There's the flash coming out, and Freiburg, he peeks around. He manages one, he manages 2. He takes out Scream in the end as well, and Freiburg keeps NIP in the game very possibly with that round win.
Yeah, that was the difference between an 11-8 lead for VeryGames and forcing NIP onto a save. and 10-9 and not being on a save. So a huge round clutch by Freiburg. Again, I might add. I think that's 3 tonight out of the rounds, and at least the second time he's had a 2v1. That's certainly the third 2v1 he's faced. He's won 2 of them. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, even if you're meatloaf. Don't know where they're coming from this evening, but, you know.
I think we need to send Tim out for some energy drinks
I think that we do, yeah. And maybe some restorative minerals or something. VeryGames leading by 10-9 right now. And
well, that's the time, is it?
It's,
oh, no,
20
it's 20
to 9.
to 10.
So, yeah, 20 to 10. Oh, my God.
We've got a best of 3 coming up after this one, guys.
Yeah.
So don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Joe may be asleep by then because of his long week and long travel home and his jet lag. I might be asleep, well, because normally I go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Because he's old.
Because I'm old. I thought I'd get the one done early. Right now, though, VeryGames slicing through with Existence picking up 2 very quick kills. Forest, last man alive, and will go down to Existence. Nicely placed grenade for the triple. And VeryGames lead again, 11-9.
5 rounds for the victory here. As we said before, LDLC, the other French side, are waiting in the final, along with Kenny S, who's probably rubbing his hands together with the prospect of facing his old team here again.
And they've got a good record. They haven't lost to VeryGames in anything since he switched over to them. To LDLC. So I think LDLC will fancy their chances.
So they should. They look very, very good. Bit of a shaky one against Navi. That's who they played in the semi-final.
Towards the end, yeah, there was a bit of nerves or something. I don't know, but
yeah. That could also be Navi's wealth of experience showing through. This is a team that's been behind more times than they've had to hot dinners and managed to come back. So we shall have to see. This round is a 5-on-3 now. A Scream is going to take down Exist without any kind of problems there. Smiths and Existence just swapping out. Smart choice, really, because at AWP, you know, it doesn't matter if you've only got 1 health back. If you can get that shot off, then you can still pick up the kills. There's MBK dropping Forest, and they may get even more. Look too easy. And Scream and MBK combining, and that is VeryGames 12, NIP 9.
Yeah, and I just want to point something out. At half-time, I remarked that it was amazing that we'd played 14 rounds and Forest had already got 20 kills. Okay, that was at half-time after 14 rounds. We've now played 21. That's 7 more rounds, and Forest has 21 kills. That, for me, has been the difference in the second half. Forest not picking up the frags, and instead, on the opposite side, Scream has 23 right now. Smith's 18, MBK 17, Existence has 14, and Shoxy has just 6 frags in all of the rounds we've played so far.
Kenny S would have had at least 7. The burn.
But just shows you can have a bad night. Existence had a terrible night last night, and come back and have another good night. And then maybe someone else is the man at the bottom of the score. But it's not always about scoreboards either.
No.
Should point that out. It is
only
a team
the very
game.
top of the scoreboard.
Yes. It is a team game, but sometimes just individual brilliance will shine one player out a little more than the others, and that's what Forest had on the first half. Second half, not so good though. And it's dropped again by MBK, who is having much the better of that exchange right now. But Get Right is going to back up his teammate here and dispose of MBK. Smith's then replying back with an AWP. And Freiburg had somehow got himself almost towards CT spawn without being seen, even though there were 2 men on the B-bomb site. And Smith just needs, well, he only needs a pixel, and he'll take it. And that's exactly what he's done there. Now, Fifth Laren has got himself the first kill. The man across the far side, which is Smith, has only got a little bit of health here. He's been disposed of by Exist. And then Fifth Laren comes in on Scream, and suddenly this one's turned around. It's now a 1v1, and Fifth Laren, having already got himself 2, has to go head-to-head with Shoxy for a 1v1. He's going to avoid that flash very easily. And he's just going to try and play this one down. Doesn't fall for the fake defuse. Shoxy now edging towards Boiler. Fifth Laren waits. He knows he's got time here. Shoxy has to go for the defuse here. Fifth Laren's going to show himself, and he's going to win the battle as well. Fifth Laren clutches the round, and Ninjas in Pyjamas put another one back. It's 12-10 VG.
Not out of this one yet, the Swedes. And who in their right mind would ever count Ninjas in Pyjamas out anyway of anything? It's not often they lose games online. And that's before we start talking about their record when it comes to playing offline on LAN, which is just formidable, to be honest. The craziest thing you can talk about them is losing a couple of games here and there over a course of a year on LAN.
I mean, they lost 4 maps in the entire last 12 months of CSGO. 4 maps, that's all they've lost, and they were all to Virtus Pro. And all at one LAN, I might add. They've won every LAN they've attended, bar that one. Although I have to say, last season's RaidCall EMS one did throw up a few surprises. They lost to them Faculty at one point in the season. I also believe they lost a kick at one point in one of the cups as well. So they're not always flawless online, it has to be said. But in terms of dominance, there hasn't really been a period of dominance like this since, well, SK back in, what, 2001, 2002? It's been a long time. And arguably, we've never seen anything like it before. Any opportunity you can take to beat them, though, will be taken. It's like they have to play a cup final every time they play a match, regardless of who they play against. Because everyone steps up their game when they're playing them, because they know they have to.
It's tough at the top.
It is, and VeryGames are doing exactly that right now, although Freiburg denies them entry into the B bomb site. And instead gets that bomb planted. They've got a 3-man setup in here. Reload from Freiburg, almost caught him out, but he managed to win the battle with Smiths in the end. And MBK, well, he might as well go for this. They've got a bit of cash, and it's a 3v1. Difficult, though. They've got a nice setup inside the bomb site.
Yeah, he's off.
Yeah, I think he's going to save this one, isn't he? Just waiting for some exits here. And this will be 12-11. We thought VeryGames were just starting to stretch out for the lead, but not going to happen. Instead, it's going to be Freiburg dropped by MBK. That's his second in the round. Bomb explodes. And Nip confirm another round in the bag. It's now 12-11 to the French. Very,
very close stuff. Still not in a position to call it either. I mean, NIP, just when they started to be looking like they were going to slip away, coming into those double figures, they've turned up the pressure once again. Let's see if they can switch it around this time. We are seeing actually P250s for at least 3 here out of VeryGames. Could be that Existence has one as well. He's had his knife in his hand the entire time, so couldn't quite see. And in fact, he just has a P2000, not even a P250. And this, on paper, in theory, something we talk about a lot, that a lot of the time doesn't prove to be correct. This should be an NIP round, but we see there already.
That's nice as well, because what that does is it alerts Nip to the fact that VeryGames have bought, but they haven't. So if they're fooled enough, well, no, they won't be now, because they'll have heard that.
In fact, they had an AK as well, rather than M4, which he saved that last round.
Of course.
So
yeah.
We'll see now. Yeah, once the pistols go off, it's like, well, they wouldn't be firing at us with pistols if they'd actually decided to buy up from that one. So that game giving away. And NIP look like they're going to say, well, we know the AK's over at A, but we want to hit A. So let's do it. Let's get those smokes down in position. Actually, it looks like they're going to cut through on towards that CT archway. That'll be all smoked out to reduce any vision down there, as we are going to get kill for kill. MBK finally dealt with. Here is Existence inside the library. Fifth Rune stands strong. And that leaves just Scream and Shoxy remaining. With 5 seconds, bomb gets planted. And now VeryGames have to turn things on their head with just 2 P250s to play with. Freiburg clean kill on towards Shoxy. And that last man now is Scream, who's moving in around the backside here. But to be honest, Freiburg will get the better of him there. And that's another round. We're all tied up here. VeryGames 12, NIP 12.
And as I pointed out earlier on, we'd had 14 rounds. Forrest had picked up 20 kills. And we've now had 24 rounds, so 10 rounds later, and he's picked up just 2 more. So his team, however, are doing very well overall. Exist with 9-21, not so good though. Get right, 14 and 16. We've seen Ben up, Fifth Lauren, 15 for 16. Freiburg, 18-17. Forrest, 22-17. On the other side, Scream, 24. 22 for MBK as Freiburg taps up a double headshot on Banana. And just to finish those scores off, he himself, actually we're not going to finish that off at all because Get Right gets another one, and they've now got themselves a 5v2, and they were on a buy round here, and only MBK has replied back any kind of resistance right now. He's having to reload, in a little bit of trouble with 19 health. Shoxy now going to come back and try and help his teammate out. Well, no, he's not. He's actually got a bit of trouble in mid on his own. Somehow he and Get Right have passed each other in mid. So that's going to be weird because they won't have been able to call that one. So Fifth Lauren gets caught out as Forrest picks off MBK. So Shoxy last man standing now, and they've got him pincered. And Get Right gets the frag, and that'll give NIP the lead, 13-12. And just to finish off the scoreboard, Screen 24-16, MBK 23-18, Smith 20 for 18, so 3 of them in the 20s, and Existence 14 for 17, Shoxy 8 for 14.
It's funny that, isn't it? Forrest 20 bombed the first half, and now he's got 3 kills.
Yeah.
After a lot of rounds in this second half. Not even going to try and add them up.
10.
10 rounds. Thank you very much. That works for me. And VeryGames here are back on the eco, which should mean NIP 14 rounds. I don't want to curse them or anything, but that would mean then that if VeryGames want to win without an overtime, they've got to win all remaining rounds, or 4 then in a row.
And remember, this was 12-9 a little while ago.
This was 12-9. NIP done a fantastic job to get straight back into it and take the lead, even. The smokes. Flash is going to be hitting that B bomb site here in just a second. There are actually 2, let's call it 3 men on A. Actually, it was 4 men that were there in the end. They did have Existence, I think it was, that was there as well with them. And that bomb is going to get planted. Easy stuff. And now it should be just a case of mopping up those last remaining stragglers for NIP, of which Get Right is going to have a lot of fun with here. Down on the end of Banana, gets himself 2. Last man alive will be Shoxy. And he is camping in the back, and they just combine. Easy kill for them. They lost 1 man in that, but they've got the job done. And that is 14-12. NIP 2 away from victory.
24 for Forrest now. Got himself 1 in the last. Same for Scream. So decent scores abound. 5 of the players in the server right now, all over 20. And we've had 26 rounds after all. So you'd sort of expect them to be close to that figure, if not ahead of it. We get underway in round 27. Not a lot of people know this, but that's actually my favourite number.
27?
I'll explain why maybe when I might get a pause in play. But right now, NIP searching for their penultimate round towards victory. VeryGames have suffered 5 consecutive round losses. The first time either team have lost 5 in a row tonight in this match. 60 seconds remaining of the round, and NIP looking for an entry here. At the moment, just working top of Banana. They've actually got 4 men across mid right now, and second mid. So for me, it looks like A is going to be the destination for this bomb, as Existence drops Get Right at the bottom of the white halls. And that might just send them scurrying away for Banana. Freiburg is leading the charge on Banana. Bomb is joining him now. Just behind them is Exist, with Forrest over on the far side of the map right now. Here comes the push. Shoxy waiting at the back. Scream to the right-hand side. Smith's going to cover from CT spawn. Into the bomb site they go. Freiburg gets flashed as he enters. Does pick up the headshot on the way through, though. Exist gets the second one, but Smith has already picked up 1. Here's Shoxy at the back of the bomb site, though. They hadn't cleaned him out, and he's managed to take down Freiburg, and now Exist is the last man alive, and he's going to take this on. 3 versus 1. The time has run down, and he does get another headshot. Ridiculous shots from Exist. but it's not going to win the round. NIP 14, VeryGames 13.
Very, very close stuff here. It's so hard to call this game because just as one team seems to be getting that swing going for them, they let it go again. And the other team comes back. At some point, we're going to hit 16 or maybe just 15-15, and then we'll get into that overtime. I certainly wouldn't bet against it at this point of the game. And they've been so incredibly, incredibly close. There's an early couple of flashes over the top towards middle from VeryGames. Wouldn't surprise me to see them doing that whole rush that they did a couple of times earlier on that CT side, just to throw, a bit of a curveball the way of Ninjas in Pajamas. But right now it seems like safety is the name of the game for them. No silly mistakes, no being caught out of position. As Existence is actually, if he'd have gone up there, I think he'd have had a real chance of actually getting something inside of the apartments. As it happens, that's not how things went down. And NIP still have a footload there. Footload? Foothold, that's what I meant to say, inside of the apartments. And now they start to go around. There's so much smoke on the map that I'm actually lost myself there. Get right, and Existence, though, are going to exchange the kills. Here comes Forest from the bottom side. There's one man inside of the site itself. Freiburg does get that man. It's now Scream and Shoxy versus Fifthler and Exist. And the VeryGames players have the health advantage, although Fifthler has got a smoke and 2 flashes. He needs to use them here, and it is going to be the smoke that goes out first. Did he spot them coming in? Shoxy's actually going to be running away from the apartments this time around. He's exchanged a bit of damage here with Exist, who's going to get shot down by Scream. It's now all, well, on Fifthler, and that was anticlimactic. And it will be a defuse coming in from Scream. We're tied up again at 14 apiece.
Yeah, and looking at the money, this is a save round here. No, actually they're all going to be all right because they're money coming in, so they should be okay. The problem they've got, both these teams though, is that lose this round, whoever loses this round will have a mixed bag of weapons next time round because they won't be able to fall by. So what a massive round for both teams. This could dictate who has the advantage in the last round and therefore wins the whole thing. As we start off with Forest in mid. Great flash, though, from VeryGames. Nearly cost Forest his life, but Smiths also took a face full of damage. He's down to 7. Forest has 2. I think we can call that honours even. Get right now trying to set up the smokes. Double flash out into the mid. Of course, we've got double flashes now again. Back in CS. Such a joy to see. A few people have said that it slows the game down. I would argue that having multiple smokes slows the game down. If we could find something that would restrict them to 1 each, then we would do it. Pretty sure that would enter the rule book. As it is, there isn't anything, so they can buy as many as they like. Obviously only 1 at a time being held, just to clarify that. And all tied up in 14-14, all tied up in personnel. It's going to be a B push this time round, and NIP have made a clean insert. They've lost 1 man in there. That one's been dealt with, though, and the bomb will now go down. This is dangerous here for both teams because they've got very little health between them. Exist 33, Forest 2, Fifth Laren 13. And only Get Right with full health, who's stacked up in the tree right now. Drops down. How on earth has he not won that? NBK now wins that, and if that loses his team the round, that could be curtains, but Forest is going to step up here with just 2 points of health. Bomb is ticking away, and there is no way that they can win this round, VeryGames. So the smart thing to do is save the weapons, and guess what? They are smart. They've realised they didn't have the money to be able to fall by next round, and they knew that if they couldn't get into the site, they'd never have a chance, so they've saved. And they're still going to have to throw a bit of weaponry around here in the CT spawn. Let's just have a quick look. And what have we got? Shotgun. Eek. FAMAS. M4. And I don't even know what the other 2 are. I think there was, well, there would have been an AK in there from the save from Smiths, of course. And a FAMAS from Scream. So they're in trouble here. Who takes round 30, Joe? Oh!
Oh, the shotgun coming up big there, but here comes Forest around the side. What are they going to do? with the rest of it. There is a drop out from him again. MBK gets number 2 with a shotgun. He's done more than his job's worth there. Can he keep it going, though? Well, obviously not him because he's now dead. But he's got 2 kills. And, I mean, can VeryGames keep that train running? It's 3 versus 3. And they need those 3 kills or hold NIP off long enough to win this final round and push it through in overtime. There is Smith, gets 1, gets himself the 2nd as well. It's now all on Fifthler. Let's get around to Fifthler and have a look exactly what he's going to manage from this one. AK in hand, still 100% of his health. A smoke, 2 flashes in this one. And let's have a look. As MBK says that was for your birthday. Fifthler gets himself 1, but Smith takes him down. And we're going to overtime. MBK said, what did he say? That shotgun shot was for your birthday.
That weird shotgun shot was for your birthday, Christopher. He was talking to Get Right, of course.
And they've picked it up there with that mixed bag of weapons, with the shotgun in there, having to buy up and throw down everything that they possibly could. And we are going to be going into an overtime. It's max rounds 5, so first one to 6, or they make it easier at the top of the scoreboard. First one to 21 is going to win this one. I put that disclaimer in for anyone remotely terrible at maths, just like me, and they start with $16,000. So, going to be straight into the action. No pistol rounds. And,
indeed.
Well, interesting stuff. Second semi-final, second overtime that we've seen.
Yep, first time it's ever happened in 7 of the weekly cups, where both semi-finals have gone the way of overtime. Ninjas in Pyjamas versus VeryGames, following LDLC and Na'Vi earlier on. We said these games would be close.
We weren't lying.
Can't get any closer than 2 15-all draws. And into round 31 with NIP versus VeryGames, who somehow managed to win round 30 with that eclectic mix of weaponry. They really shouldn't have deserved to win, but all about the MBK shotgun, I guess. Shoxy started things off nicely for VeryGames here with the opening kill. Get Right replying back. And Shoxy gets himself a 2nd before finally getting knocked off by Forrest. There 3v3, bomb planted. NIP having the advantage here. And that's a nice shot, auto-directed, but I'd like to change. Thank you. So, who makes the first shot?
What?
Where did that come from? Get Right, you lunatic. Picks up the 2nd, might get a 3rd here as well, and does get a 3rd. It's his 4th of the round, and Get Right wins the round. That gives Ninjas in Pyjamas a 16-15 lead. Maybe he was annoyed with the shotgun shot in round 30.
It wasn't that. He was pissed off because of his terrible tree action in the round before that one, where...
Yeah, that was pretty...
It looked like me, out of sight of the fact that I wouldn't have been able to get in that tree in the first place, I should add. But that's definitely something that I know gets Get Right fired up when he feels like he's made a mistake or not had a great performance himself. He'll come back stronger after that, as we are going to see MBK getting the first kill onto Freiburg. And it's now a 5-on-4. Ninjas in Pyjamas got the round lead, but they're a man down here in round number lots. There's a bit of... That was very weird. Not sure. Just like, where did those shots come from? There is a... Okay, headshot. Nicely done from Forrest. That's a very typical Forrest thing. A very clean shot from him. And we're all back to square with 4 against 4. Very tense stuff here. So much so that I thought we'd lagged out there for a second.
Yeah.
Not the case, though. Flashes are still blowing up in the background. And to me, it looks like Ninjas in Pyjamas are going to go for the banana.
Have to.
Flashes in, yeah, 20 seconds. Here's a molly going to go in there as well, or not. As Get Right decides not to light it up, but can use that in a little while here. Exist is down to just 5 HP. Here come the kills. Scream and Smith's combining. Here comes Scream for number 2 on the back of the bomb site, and now Get Right finds himself all alone Can he pick this one up? Nope, he's not got the time, and Smiths even gets the better of him in the end. 16-16.
Yeah, that was a bit of a muted push into Banana that time round. They didn't have the conviction to go in quickly. Lost a man early on, and that always doesn't help you when you're the attacking team. You get that momentum if you get the first 2 kills on the entrance to the site. Allows you to have the confidence to lock the site down, get the bomb planted and defend. And they didn't get that time round. All the kills went the way of the French, and that caused them all sorts of grief. Now, VeryGames have had enough of this, and they're going to push forward very quickly indeed. Exist almost taking his own teammate out there. He gets picked off by Scream, and they've got themselves 2 out of 3. Not bad at all on Banana. And then everything goes quiet. Forrest and Shoxy are going to come head-to-head in a moment. MBK is going to have to rotate. I think the call will be made very quickly. They are going to make a push into towards this bomb site. Forrest does come face-to-face with Shoxy and Pitt. Gets that first one, gets the second one onto Smith as well. Stunning little headshot from Forrest. And they're now at a 3 versus 2. Trust Forrest to switch your game up. Well, they were 4v3, and they now have a man advantage to take the lead again at 17-16. There is just absolutely no separating them. Here comes MBK. There is a man at quad here, and he's disposed of Freiberg. Forrest in the bottom. He's picked off him as well. Now, can he find the third one in time? Bomb ticking down here. I don't know if he's got enough time to get in here before that bomb goes. No, he's not got time to get this defused. No way. Jose. And Fifth Laren clutches another round for NIP to give them a 17-16 lead. Talk about clutch play this evening. That's 3 from Freiberg, 2 from Fifth Laren, and 1 from Forrest. Get Right needs to step up.
Yeah, he's been relatively quiet. It's his birthday. He might be drunk.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And if he was planning to go out after tonight's action, he's got no chance because everything's shut at 2 o'clock in Sweden. And we could be going the whole way, the way the games are going here tonight. Second semi-final, second overtime. We've got a best-of-3 grand final to come after this one, guys, if LDLC have not fell asleep before then. As Forrest is going to take down NBK. Good start to this one.
He's definitely woken up in overtime, I have to tell you. A quiet second half, but since we went into overtime, Forrest has been on a tear again. It's already 30 bomb, by the way. That's 32.
We are in overtime as well, though.
I know.
But that's pretty good still.
Yeah, I mean...
It's about 30 more than I'd get at this stage.
30 in regular, 40 in overtime. That's what they say. Drop 40 after an overtime round, then that's a decent game.
It's looking good here, though, for NIP. Actually, Exist is going to get one. Ooh. Smiths will deal with him, but I don't fancy Smith's chances here. There's about 1,000 bullets a second coming his way, and he will be dropped there. It's now all on Shoxy, who's going to actually back away from this one. Deciding wisely, he's going to save the gun. And that's going to be 18-16 here. NIP come back with that 2-round buffer.
Last few seconds of the round will tick down. Just to confirm, NIP's new 2-round lead. And we'll have one more round on this half before they switch round. And VeryGames need it. They won't want to go in 19-16 down, that's for sure. That would be a bit of a disaster, frankly, especially as the slightly favoured side is the one they are currently on. To have only picked up 1 round out of 5 in overtime will leave them very vulnerable heading on to T-side. So here we go with NIP. Can they make it a 3-round deficit, or can VeryGames reduce it back to just 1? Big round this time. They're all big rounds, I guess, but some more than others. This really is a big one. Oh, now, did MBK spot a little bit of NIP? Well, he might have done, but it doesn't make any difference because NIP have just rolled through VeryGames, who appear to have unravelled some sort of French magical welcome mat into that A-bomb site, and they've not lost a single member of the team, Ninjas in Pyjamas, that round. and it's 19-16. That was simple, wasn't it?
Despite the fact that they actually lined up really well from there to chain a couple of kills together. But we are going to be going into the second half of overtime. NIP just 2 rounds away from victory. And, well, it really wouldn't surprise me if NIP ended up losing this one 4-1 and we see a second overtime. Honestly wouldn't. That's just how close this game has been. But it's all about ifs and buts right now. But a good start is what really counts for VeryGames here. They lose this one.
Yes.
NIP have game point, and with then 4 more to go, you'd probably expect that they'd be able to do that. There's double grenade and does a whole lot of double nothing, as Forrest is going to pick off Scream there as well with the AWP. And the Swedes start it off brilliantly.
I love the way they mix that up between Forrest and Fifth Lauren as to who's AWPing. It's been more Forrest recently. Depends on the map, of course. Oh, that's nice from MBK, though. And I wonder if Fifth Lauren might just pop along there and say, you know what, I'll have that AWP. Hasn't so far. Mind you, he's defending on quad, so it'd be a bit awkward for him. Actually, he's not on quad at all. He's actually on balcony. That's unusual to find Fifth Lauren there. He'd come back to cover Forrest, I guess. And that hasn't worked for them, and they've now found themselves in a deficit of men.
Yeah, the thing is, they're not going to fall for that one. They're not going to push that rotation quickly because MBK is the disruption man. He always plays that same role, going up towards quad, being a bit annoying. But this push is coming in, and there is a lot of burning going on. Smiths and Existence are being absolutely burnt down. Freiburg is going to finish off Smiths here, and that was so well placed. Just when it was looking a bit dodgy for NIP, they turn it around with a big incendiary, and now we're seeing the rush coming straight in towards this A site. Where is the plant here from VeryGames? They need to get a move on. Get Right gets one. Exist does go down in the site, and they've got 7 seconds. There we go, finally. But they've now only got 1 man left. They've taken so long to get that one in. And it's now all going to be on Shox. He gets himself one on towards Get Right. But can he find Freiburg here right in the dying seconds of things? He's going to hide himself here behind the boxes. Freiburg not quite got the shot on him here as he comes around. And Shoxy gets the better of him. It's 19-17. This one's not over just yet.
Unbelievable clutch play yet again, this time from Shoxy. We've seen it all night, just individual flashes of brilliance from almost every player on the server. I can't think of anyone who hasn't shown us something remarkable this evening. What an amazing game. This might be one for the history books. 19-17 now. NIP lead still, but should have been ahead, and seem to have lost some sound. Weird. Very weird. Yep, no sound. What on earth is going on? Hello, Tim. What have you broken?
Broke something again.
Yeah, you've broken something. I don't know what you've broken, but you've broken something.
Let's switch to mine.
Yeah, let's do that.
Nope.
No?
It's not on mine either.
Okay, so we've lost sound from the Go server. What?
That can't be true.
No, can't believe that, but it does seem that that's the case. All right, well, we'll continue on anyway, even though it'll be a bit harder and a bit weirder. It's been a weird night all round, thankfully.
What?
And it's MBK who picks up the kill on Forrest. Get Right replying back. Scream's coming for another one right now. We're now at 3 versus 2. Freiburg and Fifth Lauren. Fifth Lauren's going to drop here to Scream, and it would help if I also picked up Auto Director, wouldn't it? That would help. Bomb planted. Peculiar. I just don't understand how we can both lose sound.
That's right, I got you covered.
Okay. Here comes Freiburg. M4 in hand.
Rubbish.
M4.
Yeah, I can't do gun sounds. I need an American.
He's actually going to try and save this one. So in a 3v1, VeryGames are going to pick up another round here. Reduce the gap to 1. 19-18. And it doesn't seem like either of these two teams can get themselves the win. Yeah, it's a bit odd, Tim, isn't it? Because it's both of our machines that have lost sound. which makes me believe that it's... Yeah, it is both of our machines having lost sound, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a machine, yeah.
Yeah. Very strange.
Tim has broken.
Very odd.
Tim's broke everything.
He's broken it all.
Or something under the desk, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe we've... Well, I don't know how we can do anything actually under there.
Well,
I think the only thing we can do is kick the light. And
there are only microphone compressors under there anyway.
Yeah.
So it's 1918 here. Let's try and get back involved in the game and all that kind of stuff. 1918, VeryGames here with a chance to level us up once again. Let's see what they can do with this one. I hope people can still hear our voices after all this. Otherwise, it really doesn't make sense. MBK working his way again through opponents. And the disruption man. He certainly plays that role for VeryGames. They're going to smoke off to the left-hand side of middle here. Flash is going to go in there as well. And that push is going to come now from VeryGames in there. What can they do with this one? That's a great counter flash coming out, though. And Fifflern is going to pick up the first kill of the round. Can they get one back? Yes, they can. It's MBK. He gets it back to a 4-on-4, and the health loss is pretty similar here. Oh, there's a spray from GetRight, and he adjusted with just 5 or 6 bullets there, I feel, in his clip. And with that switch, he actually does really well through the smoke as well, on towards Smiths. Shoxy gets one back on Freiburg, and actually, Shoxy is planting the bomb here, but is it going to be enough? The spray coming out from GetRight will finish things off. Bomb did get planted in the end, and that is game point for VeryGames and for NIP and 4 kills for GetRight.
Yes, nicely done. It's put him on 31. We were saying he was having a quiet game earlier, weren't we? Suddenly, a wild GetRight appears. 31 frags on the board, 34 for Forest, but actually they're all behind MBK, who's picked up 35 during this match. And Ninjas in Pyjamas then move to match point in the second semi-final. Can they make it through to play LDLC in the grand final of Cup number 3 in our second season of the RaidCall EMS 1? So far, nothing doing. And Existence is the man that starts things off. So VeryGames, 2 rounds to save it. And NIP have got to claim 1 of these final 2 rounds. We're in round 39. Yeah, don't adjust your counter-strike sets. Here goes MBK down in towards the pit area. Just trying to strike out, but Fifflaren, too strong in that pit, has picked up both the kills. He's got some support here as well. Probably in the form of Forest. Is it down there as well? It is not Forest down there because he's been dropped already. GetRight gets 2 in a row, though, and Ninjas in Pyjamas will advance to the grand final with a 21-18 victory right at the end of the game. Forest dropped, but GetRight standing tall. He picks up the final 2 kills and finishes on 33 for the end of the game. We were saying he was having a quiet game.
I have to say it's a bit anticlimactic with no
Without
sound.
the sound, it's so tough. You wouldn't believe how hard it is.
How much of a difference sound makes to that.
Yeah, we rely on sound so much to understand what's going on in the game that until you lose it, you don't realise just how much you need it. Weird, wasn't it?
That was weird. Yeah, because it actually gets us fired up more when you hear the guns going off and everything. But
pew, 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 pew.
Anticlimactic end to that one. But it was a great game. So congratulations to NIP.
Yeah.
They're going to go through into the grand final, which is going to be coming up here in just a few moments. We're going to task Tim on in his mission fight. There's a lot of buttons under this desk, and we have no idea what any of them do. And I hope that Tim does, but I'm not sure.
I pray and hope that
we'll find out about that one because a best of 3 with no sound, I'm not sure about that.
Nah.
But we're going to get onto that one, guys, and obviously take a little bit of a break here. But when we come back, NIP versus LDLC. This is the place to be on ESL TV. Don't go anywhere.